Hey guys, it's Austin with Pickleball Playbook, and today I'm going to be teaching you when to hit topspin and when to hit underspin when you're playing pickleball. Because there's nothing worse than making the wrong decision when you could have easily put the ball away, or speeding up a ball that's way too low and hitting it right into the net. During this video, I'm not only going to teach you when, but how to hit a topspin dink out of the air, as well as how to hit a push dink out of the air on both the forehand and the backhand side. So without further ado, let's get started with how. Okay, we're going to get started with the volley topspin dink on both the forehand and the backhand side. As you guys can see, pointing out the obvious, there's a cat with me today. Stray cat. It's been in all my previous videos, but today it's very much so friendly with me. So we'll see if it ends up nibbling at me or something, I don't know. But hopefully I don't get rabies. If this is your cat and you're missing a cat, you lost a cat, I found him. Message me below. Anyways, first thing that we're gonna do, get in a good ready position. We're gonna bend our knees, okay? Knees are bent and I'm leaning over the kitchen. That knee bend is going to give me more reach into the kitchen so that I can take this ball out of the air, because that's the whole goal with it. I wanna reach in and take it out of the air. After I've bent my knees and reached in, I'm going to go to whatever side that ball is on and open my paddle towards the opposite side of the net. The way that I'm doing that is by cocking my wrist backwards. So it looks like this. I'm cocking my wrist back. If you don't get that wrist cock back and all that you're doing is moving your arm back, you'll never have topspin on this shot. You have to utilize your wrist cock. So I'm cocking it back, and then I'm going to point the outside edge of my paddle downwards, regardless of what side I'm on. So if I'm on the forehand side, outside edge of my paddle goes down, and now this is pointing towards the ground. If I could draw a line, it would go directly to the ground. It's the same with this side. Outside edge is now pointing towards the ground. This side, my left wrist is cocked back for a two-hander, and my right wrist is cocked down. So it's inverted. It's not cocked back, it's cocked forward, pointing downwards, and then I'm simply going to brush up the ball. In other words, wave hello with my fingers down, and then my fingers go up. That's going to create this topspin up the ball. Now notice how it's not my wrist that's doing this, it's actually my forearm. So basically what it looks like is my forearm is up, and then my forearm is down. Forearm up, forearm down. That's going to create all that spin. So I'm leaning in, forearm up, forearm down. Same with the backhand side. Forearm up, forearm down. And that's simply me waving hello. And that'll really, really help you. But you can start by just thinking about forearm up, forearm down as you hit through this ball. And then it's going to come down to timing and getting rep after rep after rep in. If you have a one-handed backhand, it's going to be the same exact thing, other than you're not cocking this wrist backwards because it's not involved. You're just cocking this wrist downwards and inverted. And then you're simply waving hello with the back of your hand. And the way that you're doing that, remember, it's not my wrist, it's not breaking at all. It's just my forearm is down, and now my forearm is up. The way that that should look is just like that. Okay, next is the basic push dink out of the air. This is the most simple shot that you can make. What you want to do is reach in. We start with that good ready position, bending our knees. We reach in, and we're going to make this small of a motion. Literally an inch by an inch. I'm just reaching towards wherever it is that I want to go. If I want to go up the line, I'm going to go towards up the line. If I want to go cross court, I'm going to go towards cross court. So something that a lot of people don't know is if the ball bounces, it takes off like 20% of the ball's speed. So if they hit a hard shot and it bounces, as soon as it bounces, it loses a ton of power. But if I'm taking it out of the air, it never loses that power. So if I hit this push dink out of the air like a normal dink where it bounces on the ground, if I hit that same exact motion that I would on a normal dink that's, it's a foot instead of that inch, you're gonna pop that ball up every single time. So this is the best advice that I can give you, is when you get a ball that you're hitting out of the air, keep that motion 1 to 2 inches, super, super small. And then all that you're doing is simply aiming towards wherever it is that you wanna go. So now that we know how to hit these two shots, we want to understand when we should be hitting them and in which situations. And it comes down to one thing. We only have to focus on one thing to decipher whether to hit a push dink or to hit a topspin volley. Do you want to know what that one thing is? It's the height. It's the height of the ball as it's coming towards us. So if our opponents are hitting a ball and it's above their shoulders, they're going to hit down on that ball. If they fail to hit down, their ball is going to go towards the back fence, hit the back fence. Because they didn't hit down on the ball, they hit out, or maybe they hit up out of some random chance. If the ball is high on our opponents, meaning it's above waist height, that ball's probably going to come down at us. So then we can know ahead of time, okay, since it's high on them, I'm going to push dink this next shot or reset the ball, which a reset is essentially a push dink, where we're just trying to get our dink to land right into the kitchen on the other side of the net, off of a hard shot that they hit us. So if our opponents are hitting a high ball, that's when we automatically need to say in our minds, okay, push dink or reset. I'm gonna reset this ball into the kitchen. On the other hand, if our opponents are hitting a low ball, then that's our opportunity to bend in and lean in to the kitchen. Does that mean that automatically they're going to hit us a high ball that we can hit topspin on? No, but we have a lot better chance of hitting a topspin shot off of that ball. So we need to be ready for it. If it ends up being short in the kitchen and we can't, we're simply just gonna dink that ball. And that's when it comes down to our height, the height of the ball as it comes onto our side of the net. So picture with me for a moment that you get a ball that is eye height, okay? It's above your chest, it's above your shoulders, it's eye height. With this ball, we obviously want to be hitting topspin. We want to be hitting the ball hard. The reason that we want to hit topspin instead of underspin in pickleball is because topspin is going to bring the ball down at our opponent's feet, whereas underspin makes the ball float. So you see it all the time, especially with people that come from different sports backgrounds like tennis or padel. They'll hit underspin here, and that ball ends up floating to about, chest height or belly button height to their opponents. And then they hit topspin, and it comes back and it lands at their feet. And it's all just because this person chose to hit underspin on this shot. Now let's picture for a moment that my opponents hit a ball, and it's right here. It's right at the bottom of my hip. As you guys can see, the bottom of my hip is obviously gonna be different than yours. I'm 6 foot, so the bottom of my hip is about net height. It's just above the net. So I know, for me, if anything comes at that height, I can hit topspin still, and I won't hit it into the net. Because I can hit it from here, it'll hit outwards, and then it'll drop just after it comes over the net. So it comes down to that height of the ball to make that decision on whether or not to hit topspin or underspin. If anything is below my hip, I know automatically it's not gonna make any sense for me to speed up the ball. Does that mean 100% of the time I'm never going to speed up a ball that's down here and hit topspin? Absolutely not. As you advance, you're obviously gonna take more risk because you're more comfortable. You can hit these shots more often. So my suggestion, especially to those of us that are 3'5", 4'0", 4'5", and below, is to make that decision based off of the height of the net. So go stand up next to the net, and wherever you end up, if you can get about 2 to 3 inches above that, I want you to speed all of those shots up. All those shots you want to be hitting topspin volleys. And then anything that is below that point, all those shots I want you to hit push dinks out of the air. And those meaning you're hitting them out of the air, you're not allowing them to bounce. Because if you hit them out of the air, you're going to be able to apply a ton more pressure on your opponents. Because think about the amount of time that it's taking to allow that ball to bounce and then dink the ball. You want to take away time from your opponents when you can. This is the exact drill that I like to do to practice this. I'll start by putting my slinger bag cross court for me just behind the non-volley zone line, and then I'll stand just behind the non-volley zone line. And every single ball that the slinger bag hits to me, I'll make that decision on whether or not to simply hit a push dink out of the air or to hit a roll volley out of the air based off of the height of the ball. The next and most important aspect to this drill is that each shot I hit has to be in a different location. I start with my first shot cross court, my next shot goes down the middle, and then my last shot goes up the line. So now I'm focusing on 2 things, the height of the ball, on whether to hit topspin volley or to hit a push dink, and then I have to focus on hitting it in a particular location every single time. Since this drill is so much more challenging than gameplay, it'll make gameplay feel like a walk in the park. This right here is my most viewed video. If you'd like to get better at pickleball and watch that, go ahead and click here, and I will see you guys on the next one.